Good day everyone. In today's video we are going to learn about congruency. So this is our introduction to congruency, which is the beginning. The first thing we're going to look at is segment lengths, or the length of a line. In our image we got the line AB. Our segment is demarked with these little dots on the ends, and then we've got the line CD. Similarly, the ends of the line are marked with the dots at the ends. Now, what we can see is that we've got this red slash mark on both of the two lines, and that slash mark means that the line segments are equal in length. So slash means equal. What this information is telling us is that AB is equal to CD. So according to the rule of congruency, if a line is equal to another line, if one segment is equal to another segment, then that segment is congruent to the second segment. So AB is equal to CD, which means that AB is congruent to CD. Notice that the equal sign has got two lines, and the congruent sign has got an equal sign but a squiggly line on top. Given in the image, we have got two lines. We've got line JK and we've got line LM. Now the question is, can you determine if the two lines are congruent? So we know that for something to be congruent, it needs to be equal. So the question is if they are equal. If they are equal, then they are congruent. How do we measure the length for JK? Now I'm not going to use the Cartesian plane. I'm simply going to use the blocks and we're going to jump. So going from J to K, I'm jumping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. JK is 5 units. Let's do LM. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. LM is 5 units. So if JK is 5 units and LM is 5 units, then JK is equal to LM, which is equal to 5 units. And since we have this equal statement, we know that the line JK, with a line on the top, is congruent to the line LM. And we have just proven the statement. Now let's look at angles. When we're talking about congruency, we're talking either about line segments or angles. So in this image, we have angle A and angle B. Now, angles are marked with this little red arc. This line over here is called an arc. So these arcs indicate that the angle size are equal. Angles that are measured, in this instance, this information is telling us the measure of angle A is equal to the measure of angle B. This is what this image is telling us. Now, once we have an equal to, we know that it is congruent. Therefore, if equal, then congruent. And the reverse is also true. So if it's congruent, then it means that it's also equal. When you think about congruency, think about identical. When we are talking about something is congruent, then we're saying that it is identical to each other. So we're saying angle A is identical to angle B. Here is a question that asks us to make congruency statements based on the angles that are provided. So there are different ways of writing an angle. Let's start with angle T. So if I wanted to write angle T, I can write angle T with an angle sign and the letter T, or I can write the measure of angle T, or I can write T with a copy on top, or I can write P, T, S. So there are the 4 different ways of writing an angle. You can choose which one as long as it is correct. I have no objection. So let's start with angle T. Based on this information, what is given to me is I have one arc over there. So angle T is going to be congruent to angle S, which has also got one arc, and at the same time angle T is equal to angle S. So what we're saying is that T is identical to S in shape and size. And then a second statement that we can make is to say angle P, which has 2 arcs, and angle R has 2 arcs. So angle P is congruent to angle R, and that's straightforward. Guided practice. In each of the figures that follow, name the congruent sides and the congruent angles. So we are going to do sides and we are going to do angles. And all that you need to do is to name them. So let's start with the side that has got one slash, and that would be this side over there. So we know that HJ has one slash, and it is congruent to another side that has one slash, JK. HJ is congruent to JK. Let's do the other side that's got two slashes. So HL is congruent to LK. Straightforward. Let's do the angles. Angle H has got one arc, so I have angle H, which is going to be congruent to another angle that has one arc, and that's K. Angle K. Angle J has got two arcs, and that one is congruent to angle L. It's got two arcs. Easy peasy. Again, what are the congruent sides and congruent angles? So in this instance, we're going to start with EF. EF has got one slash. That one is congruent to FG, which has got one slash, but it's also congruent to EG or GE. In other words, all three sides are congruent to each other, and therefore this is an equilateral triangle. If we're doing the angles, I'm going to write it here for the sake of space, then I will say that angle E, which has got one arc, is congruent to angle F, which has got one arc, is congruent to angle G, which has got one arc. Again, we have got an equilateral triangle because all sides are equal and all angles are equal. Here we have a square. So what do we know about the square in terms of sides? We know that all sides, for a square, all sides are equal. Is this true? Yes. AB has got one slash, BC has got one slash, CD's got one slash, DA has got one slash. So for our sides, we're going to say AB is congruent to BC, is congruent to CD, is congruent to DA. When it comes to angles, we can see that all angles are 90 degrees, 90, 90, 90. So we're going to say angle A is congruent to angle B, is congruent to angle C, is congruent to angle D. And we know this because they are all equal to 90 degrees, and it's with the square symbol. Thank you.